Oh my God.
Programmet presenteras av Betsave.com.
Now when I was a little boy, at the age of 5, I had something in my bucket, keeps a lot of folks alive.
Back from the commercials, and you were talking about kicks.
Well, I was comparing the level of kicks in the state of kicks today in MMA to like the old days when we thought, right when Hoist just started taking everyone down and choking them out, we thought, oh, you can't throw any kicks. Right there in the beginning, no more kicks. Yep. You throw a kick, they're going to take you down and choke you out. There was no kicks. The first time we learned that you could throw a kick was UFC 7. UFC 7 was the first time we learned that, oh, you can kick. Because when Marco Huas beat Paul Varlans, he leg kicked him to death. He beat him with leg kicks. So we go, oh, okay, leg kicks are the only kicks you could throw. That was the state of MMA.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Even the karate guys, and everyone believed that too. Oh no, we can't throw kicks. Nope, you wasted your time with all those fancy, stupid kicks. Those kicks only work in the movies, So, and then the first head kick. The thing that changed the head kicks was when Maurice Smith kicked Conan Silveira in the head, knocked him out. We're like, a head kick can work in MMA. Oh, but you got to time it. It's a low percentage. You just got to time. It's just like he got lucky. But still, people are like, okay, you might be able to throw a head kick. Now, and then it got established. Okay, you could throw head kicks. Everyone's practicing head kicks. Everyone's practicing leg kicks. That's it. You're not going to throw any of the spinning kicks, none of the fancy kicks. Then for a while, it's like, you can't throw any of the fancy kicks. And then people started landing. And, like today, you got Kung Lee, and you got so many guys. Like that dude from England, that black dude. What's his name again? Weird name.
I don't remember. We were talking about him.
Guy Lord or Guyler.
Yeah, something like that.
Guyler something. Yeah. I've never seen striking like that. That guy's the fastest guy I've ever seen in my life at striking. He's fucking amazing. All he's got to do is just, so is, Melvin Manhoof. He's pretty vicious too. His problem was his groundwork, and if Guyler, if that's what his name is, he just got to really fall in love with the groundwork. He's going to be a huge star in the UFC. I feel it. I mean, I've never seen striking that fast. But now in today's world of MMA, now everyone is now they got to spend time working on those turning side kicks, spend time working on a wheel kick, threaten with that wheel kick. You might be able to close the show with that, and now with those front kicks with the balls of your feet, we thought, okay, that's not going to work. And guess what? They're all practicing it now. So it's just natural evolution. It's like that with anything. With football, like American football, there's evolution there. When the West Coast offense, they started, you could do anything you want with 11 players in football. You got 11 players on offense, 11 players on defense. People started doing different things, and, we all knew that the basis would always work, but then the West Coast offense, they changed shit up. It's just an evolution. And the same thing with the ground. The ground is the state of grappling, the state of jiu-jitsu and MMA is so low overall. There are some great guys out there. There are Charles Oliveira, George Sotiropoulos. There's some great guys out there. Shinya Aoki, Imanari, Vinny Magalhaes. There's some great jiu-jitsu out there. Damian Maia. But overall, most people just aren't that good. There's just too much other shit to work on. You don't have time to craft the jiu-jitsu in MMA. You're so busy doing other shit, and you don't want to add anything new unless it's proven. So the rubber guard, if you could look at it two different ways. You can look at it as rubber guard don't work. There's only like 10 dudes in all of MMA that can do it. You could look at it like that, or you could look at it the real way is only 10 people have taken it seriously and put the time in to master it. That's what you should. That's how you should look at it. Just like in striking, no one's going, only Kung Lee could do it. Only Diego Nunes can do it or whatever. No, a smart guy would go, damn, that's what's possible. We got to start doing that. You got to always grow, always evolve, always look to improve in all aspects.
Feels
Learn
like the safer way to fighting in front of guard too, with the rubber guard. I think.
Yeah, it's the rubber guard is the best defensive.
Yeah, I think so.
Guard, and it's the best offensive guard. It's you know, and to me, it's 100% proven. But I could understand how people are looking. Only a couple of guys are looking into it. Well, that's not the way I look at it. You know, there's a lot of guys that could do it. The people that put the time and drill and practice, you can be a rubber guard master. You just got to practice a lot. And right now, it's really, you know, it's the real low level fighters, the C level and B level shows. There's a lot of rubber guard players. Like that's all they know how to play. Like I got an 18-year-old guy that. That's all he knows how to play is rubber guard, and he's amazing with it. He's gonna end up doing MMA. His name is Ant Lopez, and you can't have him stop doing rubber guard. There's no way you're gonna convince him to stop. Like you can't convince me to stop. You know, it's once you master it, you'll never go back. One of my biggest detractors, is Vinny Magalhães, was one of the Brazilian world champion, amazing jiu-jitsu guy, won Abu Dhabi gold medal. He was the most vocal against me and against.
Oh, really?
Yes, he was. But he was so against me that he actually started looking into it. And then he started practicing the rubber guard. And he's totally into it. Now he represents 10th Planet when he grapples. He's totally into the twister. He likes the whole system now. So if you look at it like that, the only reason there's only one Brazilian doing rubber guard is because only one has an open mind to look into it and practice it. That's the truth.
Argument I always heard is, you have to be so flexible, blah, blah, blah.
You can get flexible.
Yeah,
anybody can get flexible.
It's easy to get flexible.
Yeah, anybody can get flexible. I mean, it's just like going to yoga. You need yoga flexibility to play rubber guard. It's the same flexibility.
If you're really too, so
yeah, exactly.
So
you know, people walk into a kickboxing gym, they can't kick to the head. They don't ever say to themselves, "Oh man, you got to be born to kick to the head." You got your stretching machines. It's been done millions of times, so there's no question. No question. Oh, I got to work on my flexibility. With the rubber guard, it's so new, and it's so new that now you have to work on getting flexible the yoga style. There's not enough evidence out there that you could practice and practice your stretching and get flexible enough to play rubber guard at a high level. There's not that much proof. I've seen the proof. I have a lot of students that had shitty flexibility and then they work on their flexibility. Now they play rubber guard all the time. But we haven't seen it millions of times. You know, so people are like, "Oh, you got to be born that way." It's like no one has ever done yoga for 10 years and not been flexible. You know what I mean? Eventually, you're going to become flexible. Eventually. In the beginning, you start yoga, you're rigid as an old man. But ultimately, if you stick with it, you're going to be flexible. Yeah. And that's it. So, it's a lot of work. You know, they're like, "Oh, man, I don't want to have to work on my flexibility and spend all that time and then realize that the rubber guard is, useless." So most people don't have time to even look into it or even think about it. They're like, "I got too much other shit to train." So it's fun. It's fun, this whole, the process of proving that it's the best guard for MMA. I love it. The longer the resistance is actually cool, because the more the resistance, the more people are saying it's not going to work. The sweeter it is going to be at the end when it's just standard in MMA and everyone's working on their rubber guard, and you're like, you have to stay with the times. You know what I mean? To keep evolving. We know from the past that all fighters that refuse to evolve, they always die and they can never make it back. And people say, "Oh, they're so old. That's why they're old." No, they're not. It's not because they're old. It's because they refuse to evolve. There's a lot of fighters that have retired that could have been amazing at jiu-jitsu, but they just never evolved. And, this is fun. It's keep resisting.
We got to go to commercial again.
All right.
Once more.
Now when I was a little boy, at the age of 5, I had something in my pocket. Keeps a lot of folks alive.
Programmet presenteras av betsafe.com.